Nothing like starting out your Delta flying experience a little sleep deprived. Had I known that morning how things were going to turn out, I would have just gone back to bed. I was about to get schooled on the world's most trusted airline and how well they really treat their customers. Before I get to that, I suppose I should probably explain what I'm doing on a Delta flight anyways. Hey sightseers, surprise! Remember that trip I was talking about possibly taking? Well, guess what? I'm on it. That's right, folks. If you've been following me for a while, you know that I recently did a video at Shopko talking about their closing, and in it, I drop a hint that I'm going on a trip. And this is it. So get ready for some fun adventures ahead. But before we can have any fun, we have to get to our destination. And if you read the title of this video, you know this is about a Delta flying experience. And in order to understand that, we need to back it up to the morning I first got up. Some 36 hours prior. My original flight was scheduled out of Green Bay to leave at 5:30 a.m., which required getting up at that ghastly hour. Of course, I'm not much of a morning person, but hey, when you're traveling, you do what you have to do. It's time to go! Yay! Of course, I was super stoked to be going on this trip and couldn't wait to get there. However, there's a reason that they say the best laid plans of mice and men often go awry. You'll never guess what happened. This morning my flight was overbooked by 3 people. So, out of the goodness of my heart, I volunteered to be moved to a different flight. Of course, that was with compensation. Now, before some of you get all judgy on me for accepting compensation to give up my seat, I'd just like to ask you, how many people do you know would voluntarily change their travel plans for free? Except maybe Gandhi or Mother Teresa. You know, it's a change in plans. That change in plans was actually supposed to land me at my destination 20 minutes earlier than my original flight plans, so thought this was going to be a great thing. Sounds like a win-win, doesn't it? Not so fast. I get over to the other gate where I'm scheduled to fly out now and find out that that plane's been delayed because the flight crew was late for some particular reason. And so as we're sitting there, there was another flight that was supposed to leave that had been delayed, going to Minneapolis. Their flight plans got changed such that they took our airplane. So we got stuck with their plane, which had mechanical problems, which is why they were delayed to begin with. And so our flight crew shows up. You know where this is going, right? We're stuck with a broken airplane, and who knows how long it's going to take for it to get fixed. Does this sound like something you'd expect from the world's most trusted airline? It got delayed to the point where we weren't flying out till 12:30. Well, with that whole big change, I wasn't going to make my connecting flight in Detroit. Now I'm going home and coming back tomorrow to fly out. Let me be clear. I understand. I'm the one that made the initial decision to give up my seat. I fully own that. And it cost me an entire day from my trip. However, I don't think it excuses Delta in any way for their performance, especially since, as we're about to see, this wasn't the last of it. So much for getting up at 4 o'clock this morning. I had received overnight several texts from the airline, and guess what? This just keeps getting better and better. Now my flight from Green Bay, that was supposed to leave at 7 a.m., is now delayed until 10:45. So they've rebooked me on a flight out of Detroit, but that means I'm not going to get to my destination until closer to 8:30 tonight. What? That's right, folks. My flight plans were being delayed yet once again. Oh, no. And instead of arriving around noon, I was going to now get there around 8:30 p.m. Talk about a really stressful way to start off what's supposed to be a fun trip.
I called the airline and they told me they could put me on standby. When I asked what number I was in line for standby, I'm like number 9. In any case, I am not pleased with my Delta experience at all. And I'll give you 2 tips. 1, if you're ever offered the opportunity to give up your seat in exchange for anything, don't. It's not worth the hassle. And 2, don't fly Delta.
Harsh words, I know, but can you really blame me? Not only had I gotten up at the crack before dawn 2 mornings in a row, I was running on so little sleep that not even a zombie would survive. And now my travel plans were screwed up once again. And frankly, this wasn't the first time I've had issues with Delta. One of the last times I flew with them, they were going to leave me stranded in the Detroit airport. They were going to keep me there an entire weekend before putting me on a plane. I ended up renting a car just so I could get back home. And this is coming from the airline who touts themselves as being the world's most trusted airline. And here in the United States, they're supposedly ranked number 1. What I'm wondering is how in the hell did Delta get ranked number 1 in the first place? Needless to say, I was starting to get the headache from hell.
Well, kind of goes along with the trip, don't you think?
After a short nap, I was ready to hit the airport once again.
I'm headed to the airport. I took a nap and my headache has seemed to subside, so hopefully that's a good indication that the rest of the day is going to be positive.
That's right. Despite everything that happened, I was still maintaining a positive attitude. I thought it would be worth a shot to get to the airport early enough to try my luck with the standby.
No dice on the standby.
Alright, I'll admit, a little bit of wind came out of my sails there, but hey, I still had first class. With all the aggravation, Delta had upgraded me to 2 first-class seats on both legs of my trip. What else could possibly go wrong?
So here we go again.
Don't tell me there's been another change in plans. Not with Delta.
They're letting me catch the 214, which puts me at my destination about, I think, 4:30. But the sucky thing is now I don't get to fly first class.
That's right. In order to get me to my destination sooner, they took away first class on the second leg of my trip. All I can say is there better not be any more delays, and they better get me there by 4:30.
Looks like I get to board. Yay!
After everything that happened, you can't possibly imagine how excited I felt to be finally getting on my way. Not to mention, I was still getting to sit in first class, and I couldn't wait to check that out. And here I was worried I wouldn't fit in because I was dressed so casually.
Do you ever wonder how clean they keep these airplanes? Check this out. I think that's the remains of a graham cracker in the crack. Right there. I'm not gonna touch it. Ugh. Look at all that dust.
Yes, folks, this is a first-class seat on one of Delta's flights. Now, granted, it's on one of the smaller airplanes, not one of the big jets, but still.
So if you're wondering what you actually get when you're flying in first class
Folks,
on a
from the flight
puddle
deck, apologize,
jumper,
we haven't pushed back yet. Our computer is a little slow this morning, and
Great.
we're just doing
Another
manual
delay.
count real quick, and once we get...
Seriously? Another delay from the world's most trusted airline? Shut the front door and call me purple. If this keeps up, I'm going to make it into the Guinness Book of World Records. Anyways.
what you get when you fly first class on one of these little puddle jumpers, complimentary bottle of water, which I already drank, my little pillow, gotta have that lumbar support, you know, and a blanket. No, I'm not going for the old liquor drinks either. I just not happening at this time of day.
Fortunately, we didn't have to wait very long, and soon we were pushing back and heading for the runway. It was now 32 hours after I originally set off for this trip. The funny thing is when I booked this trip, I had no idea what sort of adventure lay ahead of me. I thought since I was flying out of Green Bay, it would be routine, boring even. Boy, did I have that pegged wrong. Yay, thank God, I finally made it to another airport. I'm in Detroit, if you haven't figured that out. Yep, it's 1:45 on Monday afternoon and I still haven't arrived at my destination. Despite this, however, I'm in good spirits and decide to stop off at the airport Starbucks to grab a quick snack before I get hangry. 'Cause you wouldn't like me when I'm hangry. As I'm standing here snacking on my Starbucks, it suddenly occurs to me that maybe I could secure a bump up. So I go up to Delta's customer service counter and inquire. And guess what? The airline gods are finally shining down on me. I was able to secure a bump up to a Comfort Plus seat in row 10, which has the most legroom ever. Can you say booyah? Score! Oh, and it's almost time to go.
Shortly we'll be boarding. So yay! I'm finally getting to my destination.
This entire trip has shown me what Delta, the world's most trusted airline, is really like. For all you future travelers out there, I wish you the best of luck, and I hope your experience is only half as bad as what it was for me. By the way, in case you're wondering, this is exactly how much legroom you get if you sit in the row behind first class in Comfort Plus.
I'm good with taking Comfort Plus. I don't have to squish my legs up. Very nice. 28 hours after I was supposed to originally arrive.
Or 36 hours from start to finish.
I finally arrived at my destination. Let me know in the comments section below if you would disrupt your travel plans to arrive 28 hours later.
Believe me when I say the fun's only just starting to begin. Be sure you hang around and check out my upcoming videos as they showcase all the cool and fun adventures I had while out on this trip. And if you're wondering where I ended up, here's a little hint for ya.